Hi guys, so today I am going to be showing you my everyday kind of natural makeup. I wouldn't say this is that natural, but it's my natural. Right, so the first thing I start with is primer. Obviously, not to prime is a crime in the words of Nikki Tutorials. I use two. It's probably a bit like too much. Like you could probably get away with one, but I'm a bit extra. So I use the Fenty. This is just the normal Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer, and then I use the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer, just where like my pores are a bit more prominent. And I just applied this one all over my face. If you're wondering where I'm looking, I have a mirror literally right below where my phone is. So this just helps smooth out. Obviously my skin is a bit questionable at the moment, so some of my breakouts are a bit dry, so it just helps smooth over those, ready for my base of the e.l.f. one, mainly in my T-zone. As this is like my everyday makeup, it's not that natural, but I just use concealer. I don't use foundation, but I use quite a bit of concealer. It really depends on how bad my skin is. So obviously if you're going to be like following along or anything, you can use foundation in this part. I don't for some reason. The concealer, I mix two concealers together. So I use the L'Oreal Infallible concealer and the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo concealer. So obviously at the moment my main problem area seems to be my forehead and a few just around. But yeah, as I said, I do use quite a lot, so it would probably like make no difference if I put foundation on. So I kind of use a mix of both of them because I usually fake tan, and then the mix of both colours works very well for me as well. And I'm just blending this out with a Real Techniques Miracle Complexion sponge. Now I like to go in with my cream products, so I use a warm tone stick foundation and then a cool tone contour stick, just to add that perfect shade of like shading but warming up the skin. Then I go in with the Morphe contour stick. This is in shade 12. Shade is super cool toned, so it's like too cool to use on its own. I just blend this out with the sponge. And once that's all blended in, I then go in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Concealer. This is in the shade Light Sand, so it's like a shade lighter than the one I use on my face. I just use this to highlight all the higher points and cover up my under eyes. The Maybelline Cheek Heat Gel Cream Blush, and this is in the shade 15 Nude Burn. I just apply this directly to my face. To go in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder, I use that just on a small kind of tapered brush. I take a tiny bit on there just to set under my eyes and just map my eyelid down a little bit. And I'll also take a little bit just through the T-zone. As I said, I do get a bit oily, This just helps take some of the shine away. Before I finish my skin, I do like to go in and do my eyebrows and my eyes, and then I'll go in with like bronzer, blusher, highlighter, all of that fun stuff. So for my eyebrows, I do use 3 products, which again, OTT, you don't need to do that. You could probably get away with 1. I go in with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I currently have this in chocolate, this Soap and Glory Brow Archery pen, but I use only the one side, which is like a felt tip, just to add some like hair strokes. And then I just use a clear mascara to set my brows in place. As you can probably tell, my eyebrows are tattooed on, and I don't mind the shape, like, but I'm not the biggest fan of them. So I just try and work with what I have just to make them look a little bit more nice, I guess. This is when I go into the Soap and Glory pen and just add and just set those in place. For my eyeliner, I do it with eyeshadow. I use a massive palette, which obviously doesn't help, but I literally use these 2 darkest shades here. If you've got a dark brown and a black in a smaller palette, then just use that, but these are the ones I currently use. So I'm going to take the darkest brown, which is Intuition, on the angle brush. I'm just going to try and match this side. I usually kind of, right, let's not put the palette in front of my face. I then play around with it, I add a bit more brown. So when you kind of get to this point is when I start adding a bit of black to it, just to make it a bit darker and a little bit more dramatic. And once you get to like this stage, I'm quite happy with those. I then go in again with a mix of the dark brown and the black, and I do like a little point on the inner corner, just like that, and I take it up a little bit on the waterline just so it's got that shape there. And then my mascara, which is the Maybelline Falsies Lash Lift. This is a really good mascara. I just apply a couple coats of that to my bottom lashes, my top lashes. Please ignore my mascara face. Always, every time. I'm going to go in with the Fenty bronzer. This is one of my favourites. I have this in Private Island, which just looks like that. Going with blusher, I use the Milani blush in Rose, oh god, Doro. It's kind of it's a natural looking blush. It's got a bit of shimmer through it. I also like to kind of bring it up onto the temple. I feel like that adds a little bit more shape to my face. Going back in with the Fenty bronzer, I take quite a big fluffy brush. I then apply this just in this inner portion here, and then slightly down the nose, so it kind of joins together. started going with highlighter. This changes pretty much every day which one I use. Today I'm going to use the Wet n Wild highlighter in Precious Petals. Point is when I go in with setting spray. I'm not sure why I do it before my lips, but I do. I use the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I use quite a lot of that, and then I just kind of fan myself. When it comes to lips as well, this changes all the time. Half the time I just wear lip balm, but today I'm actually going to put a little bit of colour on. I'm going to use the NYX lip pencil in Natural, and then the Barry in Plumping lip gloss in Get It, and these are really good lip glosses. And we just apply this. These are plumping glosses, so they do tingle a little bit. They are probably like the best plumping gloss that I've tried. So now, I was going to take my hair out, but I actually quite like this little bun situation that I've got going on. So this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed my first video. Make sure you do subscribe, leave a comment on what other videos you want me to do. Yeah, I'll see you later.